Football loves clear trajectories. The prodigy who rises early. The European move that confirms the hype. The natural progression towards stardom. But sometimes, football creates a different kind of story. A story where talent arrives early, expectations explode too fast, and reality doesn't move at the same speed. This is not a story about lack of ability. It's a story about timing, context, pressure, and the thin line between potential and fulfillment. This is the story of Diego Lainez, once considered the greatest young hope in Mexican football. A player compared to global prodigies. A name trusted by scouts, journalists, and fans worldwide. And today, a player still searching for the version of himself that football once promised. Before we break down one of the most complex careers in modern Mexican football, do one thing for me. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and share it with someone who believes football careers are always linear. Because today, we're not here to mock. We're not here to judge. We're here to understand. Now let's go deeper. Diego Lainez didn't emerge quietly. He arrived loudly. From the very beginning, he stood out in ways that were impossible to ignore. At Club América, one of the biggest clubs in the Americas, Lainez wasn't treated as just another academy player. He was treated as something rare. A winger with flair, explosive acceleration, low center of gravity, natural dribbling ability, and fearless personality. But what truly separated Lainez from other young talents wasn't just technique. It was confidence. At an age when most players are still learning when to pass, Lainez demanded the ball. He tried things others wouldn't dare. And more often than not, they worked. Breaking through at America is not easy. The pressure is immediate. The crowd is demanding. The media is relentless. Yet Lainez didn't just survive. He shined. He scored important goals. He delivered in big moments. He played with joy. Fans saw something special. Analysts saw a future star. And Europe started watching. It wasn't just Mexican media talking. International recognition arrived quickly. The Guardian named Diego Lainez among the 60 best young talents in world football. Then came the NXGN rankings. In 2019, Lainez was listed as the 8th greatest young promise on the planet, ahead of players who would later become stars. That wasn't marketing. That was scouting consensus. At that moment, Diego Lainez wasn't just Mexico's hope. He was a global asset. In 2019, Real Betis made their move. They paid a significant fee for a teenager. This wasn't a gamble. This was a declaration. Betis believed they were signing a future star, a player who could define the club's next generation. For Lainez, it was the dream scenario. Europe, La Liga, a league known for technical players. On paper, everything made sense. But football doesn't care about paper logic. From the moment Lainez arrived in Spain, the context changed. The game was faster. The defenders were stronger. The tactical demands were higher. And the patience, limited. At Betis, Lainez had moments. Brilliant flashes. Unforgettable dribbles. A legendary performance against Real Madrid. On that night, the hype felt justified. The world remembered his name. But football careers aren't built on nights. They're built on consistency. Lainez never lacked quality. That was never the issue. The problem was accumulation. Minutes. Continuity. Trust. In Europe, young players don't develop by being admired. They develop by playing. And Lainez didn't play enough. He was rotated, benched, used as an impact substitute. Every good performance raised expectations. Every absence cooled momentum. Add injuries to the equation. Add pressure. Add the weight of representing an entire country's hopes. And suddenly development stalls. This is where the narrative changed. Lainez stopped being the future. He became the one who hasn't delivered yet. And that label is brutal, because it doesn't consider context. It doesn't consider age. It doesn't consider environment. It only asks one question. Why hasn't it happened yet? When Lainez moved to Braga, the story was supposed to reset. New league, new rhythm, less pressure. But football doesn't always grant second chances the way we imagine. In Portugal, the same problems followed. Limited minutes, physical challenges, difficulty adapting. The talent was still there, but confidence, fragile, and confidence is oxygen for creative players. At some point, reality becomes unavoidable. Europe wasn't rejecting Lainez. Europe just wasn't waiting anymore. The football calendar doesn't pause for development. And without consistent performances, the path narrows. For many players, this is where careers collapse. But Lainez made a different decision. In 2023, Diego Lainez returned to Mexico. Tigres, one of the most structured clubs in Liga MX. A team with stability, ambition, and patience. For some, this was seen as a step back. For others, it was survival. Because sometimes going back isn't failure. It's recalibration. Back home, Lainez found something he hadn't had in years. Trust, minutes, understanding, a role. At Tigres, the expectations were different. He wasn't asked to be the savior. He was asked to be useful. And that changes everything. One of the least discussed aspects of Lainez's career is mental fatigue. Being labeled the future at 17 sounds romantic. Living with it at 23 is exhausting. Every mistake feels heavier. Every bad game feels definitive. Returning to Mexico allowed Lainez to breathe, to reset, to remember why he fell in love with football. This question haunts many Latin American talents. Did Lainez leave too soon? There's no simple answer. Because timing isn't just about age. It's about context, support, role clarity, club philosophy. In another club, with another coach, his story might look different. Football is cruel that way. Diego Lainez is still young. He still has elite technique, experience few Mexican players have, a deep understanding of high-level football. Most importantly, he has perspective. And perspective is something prodigies often lack. Calling Lainez a failure is lazy. Calling him an eternal promise is incomplete. Because football careers aren't finished at 23 or 24. Some players bloom late. Others need to lose themselves before finding clarity. Lainez's story is not a warning. It's a lesson. Lainez represents more than an individual case. He exposes structural issues. How early hype is handled. How players are prepared for Europe. How patience is distributed. Mexico doesn't lack talent. It lacks sustainable development paths. At Tigres, Lainez has something rare. Time. Not infinite time, but real time. Time to grow without suffocation. Time to rebuild confidence. Time to redefine his identity as a player. Whether he returns to Europe or not is secondary. The priority is becoming the best version of himself. Diego Lainez was a promise. That part is undeniable. But being a promise doesn't guarantee fulfillment. Football doesn't reward potential. It rewards alignment between talent, context, and timing. Lainez didn't fail football. Football simply tested him early. And now, his career enters a new chapter. One without illusion, but with maturity. Now I want to hear from you. Was Diego Lainez rushed too early to Europe? Did expectations destroy his natural development? Or is his best football still ahead of him? Leave your comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. And share this video with someone who believes every prodigy has the same path. See you in the next video. Because in football, talent opens doors, but context decides how long they stay open.